Okay, so what we're dealing with here is an overgrown property. It is a vacant house. I believe it's a duplex rental. But anyway, we're going to be cleaning up all the yard, re-trimming or re-edging the sidewalks. I'm going to remove these two trees right here. We'll just start off with the front. I'm going to remove these two trees. I'm going to trim this one up, even though it does not belong to the owner of the house. The city will be coming along and tearing up the yard here. I'm still going to remove these flags. They're just, maybe not, they're super annoyance. We have a really large tree right here that I bid on for removing branches on here. And what I'm going to be doing is just getting as tall as I can with my extension pole. And, just cleaning up the sidewalk here, making that look nice. Vines right here, not going to be pulling those off the house. Those might come off the house. But as you can see over here, there's a lot of these that I'm not going to be able to get off the house. So I'm just going to cut the roots with the weed eater and get those cleaned up. A lot of volunteers around the house, a lot of trash in here. There's a flower bed. And this right here was one price. I'm not remembering the prices off the top of my head, but we do have a really big volunteer right here, along with just a bunch of trash and all this shrubbery right here. This shrubbery right here is going to stay. I'm just going to edge that off so that we'll have a nice path walk in the sideway, and along with going in here. This brush right here, I did bid on taking that one out, and that will include all of that. And that's just going to open up that entire space back there. And as you can see, once you remove all these weeds, you're going to have a nice walk right there. Again, on this vine right here, I'm going to cut it with the string trimmer down here and see what I can pull away. And coming around to the back of the house, this is one, I really shouldn't even be doing this part of the tree, but I do have a quote on taking this branch off. It hasn't fallen, it's just grown there, but it is sitting on top of the garage. It's a hazard that needs to be taken away, and as you can see right here, it's just grown on top of the garage. I'll take a peek up there into, open up gate. Oh. Right up here you can see that the branch is healthy. It's not broke or anything that I'm aware of right now, but I do have to remove all of that and haul that away, along with a couple of others up there. And as you can see at eye level, there's quite a these branches hanging down, so I'm going to take the pole trimmer, just get up and level this tree up. A bunch of volunteers back here in the back corner that I have bidded to take out. Just a lot of weed eating the mess in the flower beds and whatnot. Now we're over on the left side of the house, and again, a bunch of vines up on the house. I know I'm not going to be able to get all those down, but I'm going to weed eat down here, cut the vines loose. I believe I have this tree right here being removed. Just open up the corner of that house, and a lot of weed eating in there. This shrub right here, not really sure what I'm going to do. I might just trim up around the edges of it, make that a nice little circle. This right here, a lot of cleanup, and I'm not sure what this bush is, but it's overgrown with a lot of weeds. So we'll find out what we're going to get into when I start on this right here. That all might just come out. And we have two trees right here that are just they're pushed up against the window, pushed up against the house. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get clear up there, but at any rate, these two trees right here are going to be trimmed up and trimmed away from the house. We do have a little thorn bush right here, going to be trimmed up a bit, and as you can see, a lot of weed eating in there. Volunteer, just trash. A bunch of brush down here, and that little volunteer right there. I wish I could get up there and take all those vines off, but that's just not going to happen. And this tree right here, I want to take all three of these out. It's just a mess. These trees really shouldn't aesthetically, those trees really shouldn't be there. I'd like to just take those out, and that'll really open up the front of this house, because it's a nice looking house. If it had a little bit of paint, it'd be a really nice looking house. But overall, we're going to get started on this. And okay, so as you can see, just edging sidewalks makes a huge difference on any property. Even though the grass is overgrown, need trimmed around here, need trimmed around here. Just look at how nice just edging alone improves a property's appearance. Still got to do a lot of cleanup. Just started, guys. Okay, so we got the front flower beds cleaned up, edged them, and prepared them to be mowed. That way the mower deck doesn't go over the rocks. I did have to dig up one voluntary, and the rest of these little ones are just weed eated. They weren't super stalky like this right here. You know, you can waste your time pulling all those, but I'm just going to weed eat those. Like I say, just preparing everything to get weed eated around the trees, around the AC. One thing over here, I did have to chainsaw one of these sucker branches, but this is right underneath the telephone line. And if you've ever watched telephone lines be buried, they're super shallow. I do have to chainsaw that one. Got some decorative flowers right here. Not really going to worry about them. Damage that one a little bit, but these right here grow super quick. These two, well, that one right there's a vine. I'm definitely going to cut that one. That's going to be too deep on the root. This one right here I might dig up, but as you can see, I've been working all these tall weeds right here. And something, if anybody's watching this, you know, I try and give out as much positive information as possible, but if you're going to charge someone for a cleanup, you better be in here pulling out stuff. If someone hires me to come out and say, hey, can you weed my flower beds for me? This is what you're going to get. I'm just going to go in there and weed eat. I'm not pulling little knick-knack stuff. And speaking of little knick-knack stuff, the rest of the stuff in here, I'm just going to weed eat down just because of the root systems. They're so thin, 50% of the time you're going to break the weed off and the root is still going to be in there, or you'll pull it out with the root. But most of the time the root's going to stay in there, but still. Otherwise, we're working on this flower bed right here from earlier. You can see it's getting opened up pretty quick, and this driveway is going to be one mess before I'm done with all this. Okay, got all of the weeds pulled, got some weed eating done in there. After I blow these out, I'll come back, weed eat again, just to touch that up, make that look good. This bush right here, I got the corners cut off for the sidewalk. It's a pretty wild bush, so it doesn't look really good. The vines on the garage, I just can't get them. This runs into a lot of liability for me. This is wrapped up really far underneath there. So if I pull on that, I have a big chance of actually pulling that corner piece off. And I know nothing about vinyl siding, but I did get my clippers up here as high as I could just to trim that off a little bit. The roots are cut, so this will die and one of these days fall off. Or if the homeowner wants to come out here and take responsibility for that, that's great. But a lot of work, guys. Okay, so the backyard, I went ahead and trimmed around the edges, and I'm going to mow back here real quick. And it's not the best trimming job, and the only reason why I did it is just so I can come back here and mow. The grass is really tall, as you can see over here. This is just from weed eating, so you can see how tall and wet it is. So when I mow this, it's just going to lay over and be crap. I do got a lot of cleanup to do tomorrow. So my main goal for the backyard and the side yard, I'm just going to mow it once, let the grass fall over, do some work, or head home for this evening. And then when I come back, the grass will be a lot drier. All that grass that I cut, it'll be drier. So it won't be as hard to recut. So I'm going to run over the backyard, the side yard, and this side yard. I'm not even going to worry about blowing the sidewalks off yet. That'll come tomorrow. I don't know. I might show you guys a little cleanup with it. Sidewalks blown off. But yeah, going to do a quick mow on it, let that grass set, dry out. If this had to be done in one day, of course I'd go back, cut it at a normal height, come back, lift the blades up, lift the deck up, mow it at a taller height, get that grass dispersion really good. But being I'm given leeway on a couple of days on this, I'm going to cut it today, let it dry, come back. A lot easier to mow tomorrow. Okay, so a couple of problems. Made a little bit bigger of a mess than what I expected, so I will have to blow this off. And I do have a 52-inch Skag, and I'm not going to go over there. The gate, it appeared big enough, but it's only 50 inches. So I'm going to have to weed eat that whole backyard. No big deal with the Darwin's grips. These are lifesavers for flat weed eating. So after blowing off, you see on cleanups, you will have to come back and get some of these weeds in the cracks. You will have to come back and weed eat. A lot of times when you're just out here working, stuff's all over the sidewalk. You miss a lot of stuff. But got a nice sidewalk here. I don't know what it goes to, nothing really. But after blowing this off, this looks great. All of this was hidden. I don't know if I can give a before and after shot from right here, but and that garden cleaned up all right. Like, these are just really juvenile little, I don't know what they are. I don't like them, but need to come back in here, weed eat just a little bit. I have no idea what this plant is, but it's a little obnoxious. And like I say, I'm gonna have to weed eat all this back here just because my mower's 2 inches too short, or 2 inches too wide for that gate. And that gate looks huge, but it's not. And luckily the backyard's not that big. It is tall, but it's not that big. So that should take 15 minutes to knock all that down with the weed eater. And for this property, I did quote 4 trailer loads worth of debris. Got a quarter to a half load right here, but I got a lot of tree branches, like all this right here hanging down. I gotta level all these trees up. So we'll see how many trailer loads we actually come up with. Sidewalk, it looks good. That looks good, don't it? Very. I forgot to start filming this morning, but I did bring help along, and not necessarily just for the help. I need a spotter when I'm getting up here on the roof running the chainsaw. If you guys are ever cutting anything overhead, not necessarily like this, but if you're up on something, cutting trees, always have a helper with you. So anyway, got Andy from Cut and Clean Lawn Care out here helping me. And we're gonna get all these trees trimmed up. And like I say, I gotta weed eat this backyard, so we're gonna get to trimming some trees. All right, got the side tree done here. Actually, I'm gonna come off over here, cut off that yay much off of that branch. But the side is done. Woo! Okay, so the big tree in the backyard, we do have that all leveled up. Looks a lot better. Lets a lot of that light come in. Not that you want a lot of light on the house, but you know, it just opens up the viewing area. Still have the hazard branch. I'm gonna save that for last. So we're working here on the outside, left side of the house right now. So I'm gonna trim these 2 trees up. Still gotta get them away from the house. And the vines running up alongside of the house, they are really growing behind the vinyl siding. So personally, I can't do anything about it. And I don't know what these little, let me get up close, let me show you what these are. They're little thorny bushes, but this thing is not thriving right now. It's completely wrapped up in vines. So I think I'm just going to cut this down flat, maybe a foot off the ground, let this come back healthy later on once the vines have quit choking it out, because there's a lot of dead branch in there. So I'm just going to take that out. I need to come in here, weed eat, find out what else is trapped in behind here. Actually taking this out is a little beyond my quote, no big deal. This one right here, not sure. I'll find it. There's so many vines in there, it's just choking everything out. So if there's nothing healthy behind there, I might just take that one down there as well. And we are working on our third trailer load of debris. Here we go. Got these two trees right here knocked out. Fourth load on the trailer. I think we're going to be looking at maybe 6 loads to the dump. But again, these vines on the tree that's severely grown into the vinyl fencing. Got Andy hedging this up right now. It's kind of healthy underneath there, so we're going to let it go. I did cut a second tree down that was behind here, and that second tree was really crowding the house. I didn't like it there. This one right here, we're going to come along and hedge this up too. Try and find the vine root in here and get that out. But this is going to be cleaned up real nice. I'm going to get the weed eater out and help him along. So once you get the vines out of these bushes and all of the weeds trimmed up, things start to open up a whole lot. I'm really glad I took that center tree out. Didn't get permission on that, but I went ahead and took my own opinion on that. It was just too close to the house. Roots, branches, tree, windows, vinyl siding. And I'm so disappointed that I can't get these vines out. But if you can look at that right there, you got a 3-inch root right there of vines, and you can see the vinyl siding popping out. That's just all in there, and there's just nothing I can do about that without actually being a vinyl siding guy. There's nothing I can really do about that. But I cut all the vines off at the bottom. I need to take a chainsaw to that one just to kill it, but all the other vines are killed along the side, severed at the ground. These bushes are trimmed up, looking really good. Let's get this pile cleaned up. Working on trailer number 4. This is my 4th trailer. So my bids on my trailer loads are 4, and I've got 2 more to go. So didn't really hurt myself too bad. I got a good price on the dump, so doing good on that. Okay, now the only thing left is to get this big branch off of the garage. As you can see, it is resting on the garage. I want to pre-note that there's some damage right here, a little bit of shingle damage right there. I'm not seeing really too much here, but there is a little bit of shingle damage right there, along with some flashing damage. I'm gonna do the best I can to get this off of here without injuring too much, but yes, there is some flashing damage, and I just want to note this beforehand just in case. And the only scary thing is when I cut right here, I'm kind of afraid that this branch might fall down, so I'll just relieve a little bit of tension right here at first. But I'll document this step by step of the way. What I'm going to do, I'm going to whittle off all of the surroundings on it and get down to right here, and this will be my last cut before I actually make the cut on this long branch and see what happens. If there's a whole bunch of weight on this when I make my last cut right here, I'm not going to cut any further, because I'm not a certified arborist or anything like that, and that branch could come down on that house. So if this branch is broke, I'm just going to leave it right there, leave it resting on the garage. That way someone with a little more talent can come out here and remove this entire branch. We'll see what happens. So there was a ladder here. I thought that I could get up on the roof, but the extension part of that's missing, so I'm not going to get up there on the roof. But we do have the Milwaukee extension chainsaw combi system, and we're whittling away at it. Everything's looking really good so far. One thing that I do like that I'm seeing is the color of the wood and the leaves, so that's telling me that that branch is alive. I'm hoping for the best so that I can get that off the garage. I really don't want this guy to have to charge another company to come out here just to move one branch, but Anyway, just note this here. That's the damage that was already there. I'm not seeing really anything up on the roof. Not really anything at all. All right, hopefully you saw that tree bounce up, so we're good, we're good. Just to document, there's definitely damage here. It looks like 3 layers of shingles on this garage, maybe. Damage there. Bad shingles all over here. It's probably from the tree rubbing, but there is probably should be replaced up here. Anyway, I'm gonna get the whittling away on this right here. Just cut it back to here. Get that off of the garage. And we'll be done. All right, got the hazard tree removed from the garage. Trimmed back nicely. I like that bounced back up. Healthy branch. Won't say it will stay like that forever. Got the backyard cleaned up. Everything is done as far as the big items. The only thing I have to do is come back, finish up some little knickknacks in the flower beds, some little sprouts, and mulch up some mess that's in the yard. Little leaves, sticks, or whatnot. These are just going to get mulched up. But other than that, the job is done. I'll bring it back just as soon as I'm done mowing and blowing. Okay, finished project. Got the branches trimmed off of here so we have a nice walkway. 2 trees removed right here. I really like how that's opened up. I also removed 1 tree right in between these 2 bushes right here. I'm really glad I did that as well. Really opened that up. Got all the flower beds cleaned up. Sidewalks are cleaned up, nice and edged. This tree right here, got it all trimmed up. I might have been able to take 1 more off of there, but it definitely looks a lot better than it did. Also got a lot of the branches away from the house. Beautiful edging, as always. You can expect that on every one of my properties. Look how nice this area cleaned up. One thing I'm a little disappointed in is I'd like to throw some mulch down back on here again, because this is a lot of, I don't know, it's just not happy. Another thing I'm not happy about is the vines. As you can see, I did cut the root. Those are already starting to wilt. The backyard, had to weed eat all the backyard. And the trees, this big tree right here in the backyard, we really shaped it up good. Got it off of the garage. For the most part, there was some branches over here hanging over. I couldn't reach that one right there, but only 1 branch that I'm seeing right now that I could have got, but couldn't reach. Yeah, sorry, there's 1 right there. But anyway, cleaned this tree up super nice, even extended out onto the neighbor's property. Just lifting trees up makes a gigantic difference on the visual of the property. Got a nice bush right here. And all of this was just severely overgrown with vines. Look at the roots on these vines, they're huge. And like I say, I'm really disappointed that I'm not able to get these vines off of here, but I mean, they're literally growing into the house. There's nothing that I personally can do about it. Trimmed up the bushes. These, after getting the vines out of them, kind of realized that they're not as dead as what I thought they were. And again, I'd really like to come in here, put a new mat down, put some more mulch down. And same with this bush right here. Got the vines out of it. It started looking, well, they'll come back. They had a lot of vines. They had a lot of weeds in here. They had 2 trees just suffocating the light out of them. So, you know, they didn't really have a chance to grow. And up here we have our 2 trees that we removed. I don't know if you can remember what this looked like, but you know, it was just a compacted area right here. So I like that I got that opened up. Took a couple branches off that tree right there. so you have a nice view out here. And also, as you were walking out here, you were hitting your head on these limbs, just like this one right here. Not really sure whose tree this is, so I didn't go bonkers on it. And of course, I always blow the front porches off. Any porchways that I can, I blow those off. But anyways, guys, that is the final product. Oh, there.